All right, fellas, we're back loud and clear. Luther Dupree with Smokin Jim, Claudio Rosano. Man, it was a great game, crazy effort. Jim, you had as a blowout, 55-3 or something. What were your thoughts on this, Smokin Jim? We've got to start off with you because you talked real bad last week about what the Browns were going to do. What were your
Uh,
thoughts, Smokin Jim?
I was actually talking about the Bengals, but I think it was the
Okay.
first. I think it was the first game in the history in the National Football League where one team turned the ball over 5 times and the other team turned the ball over zero and win in overtime. Usually, you blow a team out like that. I mean, I got to give you, Luther, and you, Claudio, credit. You both said that Joe Burrows would be rusty. He's taken no criticism from the national media.
None.
He should be taking criticism. He played a horrible game.
Listen, Jim, before Claudio goes, I definitely agree with you. Burrow, I don't know what he was doing. He looked nervous. You know, they said after the game he was distraught, didn't shower, didn't hardly move from the locker room. I mean, 5 turnovers. I don't expect that again. The offense for the Steelers was putrid. The offensive line, as all of us said, was horrible. Najee Harris almost got his leg. I don't know how he got up from one of the tackles. His leg bent over under him. His ankle rolled up. I thought his season was done. They have to do a better job, and I'm not sure they can. There's some guys there that really shouldn't be playing. It was a scary thing. But Claudio, what were your thoughts?
Right away, the first thing I said again last week is how rusty everybody's going to be, and now it looks like September is the new August. Okay, that's the new. Nobody plays. Everybody's afraid to get hurt. Everybody's afraid to hurt their starting quarterback. So does it make a difference if they're hurt in the first game? Okay. Now, I've always said this: the media control, not us, but the media controls the pitching staffs in baseball, and now they're controlling who plays and who doesn't play in the NFL. They're controlling the play calling. These are people who they don't have their hands in the soil. They're just going by analytics, or if this guy gets hurt and they pound it and they pound it and they pound it and the fans are worried about this guy getting hurt. So this is what you're going to have. You're going to have sloppy play in September. And really, that's where you may get the injuries because they're not in shape.
Good point.
Okay, I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in shape. They're not. Jim, I know you know this for a fact. Okay, they used to have 3-a-days. Okay, I'm not saying go back to the 3-a-days, 2-a-days, whatever. Now they have no pads, and I'm not saying pound these guys to death. I'm not saying that, but they're just not ready. And I said Burrow's going to have a lot of turnovers. I expected more turnovers from Cincinnati because I figured they were going to throw the ball more. But Steelers, they're not to ride the fence, but they say when you play bad and you winning ugly, that's a good sign. They won, but I really don't know if it was a good sign.
Okay. We got Herbie coming on. He says, hi, hey, what's up, Herbie? Frank Jackson, it was a great defensive effort by Steelers. Amazing. Oh, yeah. Herbie, TJ is going to be back versus the Browns. All right, let's hope so. All right, Claudio, since we got you up, let's do a huddle.
You know, these coaches, they say that they spend 16, 17, 18 hours a day in the office, all for like the coach from the Broncos to go for a 64-yard field goal instead of trying to get 5 yards, or the dink and dunk. Once Ben retires, then Canada can open up. Then he can be who he is in this offensive genius. Maybe Narduzzi wasn't too far off about Canada. You know, you have all these weapons. You have professional athletes, football players that you drafted, that obviously you thought Claypool was big time or Freiermuth was big time and Harris was big time, and they are, and you're not using them properly. That's like driving a Ferrari. I'm not saying they're Ferraris, but 20 miles an hour all the time. Sometimes you have to open it up. Very disappointed. And, and Tomlin, what's Tomlin always say? Don't live in your fears. Well, I think a lot of these offensive coordinators live in their fears. What happened to the old days of the Daryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber, Kenny Stabler, Bradshaw, those guys like that, or even further back, Roman Gabriel to Jack Snow going deep, or John Hadle to Harold Jackson. I know I'm going way back now, or Joe Namath and those guys, or Marino. And Montana with the West Coast offense, this isn't even a West Coast offense. 5 yards, 3 yards. I just don't like where the game's going, and I blame the offensive coordinators, which connected to the head coach and say, hey, I don't like this. I don't like what, but maybe they don't have confidence in the offensive line for Trubisky to go back and throw deep or throw in the middle more. You know why? Because they're not confident in the offensive line, which means what? You should have drafted better in the offensive line and not drafted the shiny toy in Pickett, who's going to sit the bench most of the year. And if he does play, he's not going to light up the scoreboard because he's not going to have time to throw the ball. So it all goes back to the offensive line and the drafting.
All right.
Very, very well said, Claudio. But hey, we're going to be in for a treat today. We have 2 Hall of Fame coaches going head to head. One deserves to be going to the Hall of Fame, Bill Belichick. I tell you what, everybody talks about how great Tom Brady was, and Tom Brady's probably the greatest quarterback to ever play in the National Football League, maybe the greatest player. But Bill Belichick is a defensive guru, and what he was able to accomplish with a defense that was probably had basically 0 Hall of Famers. I mean, Ty Law backed his way in, but basically he had no Hall of Famers on his defense. It was like the Miami Dolphins 72 team, the no-name defense. Bill Belichick, no matter what players they give him on defense, they're very disciplined. They play the game the right way. There's not a whole lot of material there. And so I really believe that when Bill Belichick finally retires, they should change the Lombardi trophy to the Belichick trophy.
Okay. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Listen, man, once again, I think Bill Belichick gets so much credit. As we see now, as I told you guys, it was Tom Brady. What has he done since Tom Brady has left the Patriots? All he's done, have 2 terrible seasons. Last week, they got destroyed by an average Miami Dolphins team. They had Tua looking like an all-pro, throwing touchdowns all over the field. Listen, he's finally getting exposed as a coach he was at Cleveland, but he had probably the greatest quarterback to ever play football on his team. And now we're saying, he's a good coach, but is he the greatest of all time? I don't think so. And I think it's being proven he's done very little since Tom Brady has left. Still a good coach, but people saying he's the greatest coach, it's obvious that Tom Brady was the reason he got all those rings. And a little bit of the deflate gate and a little of the spy gate helped him as well. Without those 3 things, he's done nothing to win a Super Bowl, even win a playoff game. Tom Brady, deflate gate, spy gate, or why he is where he is. Listen, but my prophetic thoughts as I get Smokin Jim's on here. Devin Bush. Devin Bush looks completely different so far with Brian Flores back there. They're not giving a lot of credit, but last week, Smokin Jim, did you see him flying all over the field? I saw him flying all over the field. I was impressed with what I saw. I hope he keeps showing that. But he was all over the place, and I like what I saw. I think he's back. I think he finally has, figured it out. I think he has confidence in his knee, and I think he's going to be a much better player this time because he will be able to, have confidence, and he's running around. So I love what I saw from Devin Bush. I hope it keeps up. And also, Highsmith. Jim, you were critical of him. Alex Highsmith, 3 sacks. T.J. Watt was amazing before he got out, but he also had help on the other side, and that's what I love to see because Highsmith was flying around. He had 3 sacks, 4 pressures. Started off the game, we had Hayward getting a sack. If they can keep that up, T.J. Watt is a big loss, but they can overcome it if these guys keep stepping up. The defensive backfield, wow, these guys were making plays. Cam Sutton, diving interceptions. Witherspoon. Well, I mean, I was very impressed with how the defense was flying around, running to the ball, 4 or 5 guys around. I was worried about Joe Mixon last week. They shut him down. Burrow was seeing ghosts back there, trying to fit things in. And this was a different defense. And Joe Burrow was used to the defense last year. This year, they're flying around, and I loved it. We got to keep that up. We can still be a top 5 defense with these guys flying around. And it starts with Hayward, Bush flying around. Miles Jack is a huge upgrade over Spillane, who plays hard, but he just doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with some of these tight ends. Very impressed. And Minka Fitzpatrick, Jim, you said it was a bad move when they traded for him. I said it was a great move. You got the best safety in the game for maybe a top 15 pick, I think it ended up being. It was a great move. Next to Jerome Bettis, it might have been the greatest trade in Steelers history. I told you that the last 2 years. Do you finally believe me, Smokin Jim? Did he show you something last week? He started off with a pick 6. He got another sack, 14 tackles, block, punt. Everything they gave up for him was worth it, as I said before. Jim, once again, you still incorrect, and you're on the wrong side of history. You need to come back on board. It was a great move. Smoker Jim, are you ready to come on board and say that was a great move? Getting Minka Fitzpatrick?
Well, first of all, let me correct you. Devin Bush had 5 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 fumble recoveries. I'm trying to answer your question. 0 interceptions, 0 forced fumbles. He made 1 tackle a quarter, and you're ready to put him in Canton. I didn't see the flying around the field like you did. I never said anything bad about Highsmith. I just said that I never said anything bad about Highsmith.
You said anything good? You said anything good?
Well, he hadn't done anything good for me to say anything good. The potential was there. I said he bought his mama a minivan, and then he put it on YouTube. I didn't like that. I mean, listen, I always liked Minka Fitzpatrick. I loved him coming out of Alabama. What I said was, anytime you have to trade a first-round draft choice and give up your first round, it's because of result of poor drafting. Yeah, Mika's been worth it. He came here as an All-Pro. He was All-Pro in Miami. He's a great player, but the reason that you got Minka Fitzpatrick is because of poor drafting. How's the rest of the secondary working out for you?
Well, they looked pretty good last week. Jim, I'm just so you see, look at Devin Bush over here, running all over. He looks a lot better. He looks like he knows what's going on, Jim. I love what I saw from him, Jim. Flying around. That's the thing, Jim. He right now he has defensive linemen that are keeping the blockers off of him. Once again, flying in here, trying to get a tackle. If covering the receivers out of the backfield, Jim, he has confidence in his knee, and that's what happened. Taking on blockers, making a tackle for a 3-yard gain, but he has the guys up front that are keeping the offensive lineman off him so he can run side to side. I was impressed with what I saw. Maybe you weren't. You're never going to give him credit. But look, ran through 2 blockers and made the play. I like that effort. We didn't see that last year. He didn't have confidence in his knee. Now he's out covering a running back. Distance. Look at this. Great coverage, Jim. Great coverage. Is that not good coverage, Jim? He's shown improvement, Jim. So that's all I wanted to see is improvement by Devin Bush. I didn't say he was going All-Pro or Hall of Fame. I just said I saw the effort. I saw he was there, Jim. Give that man.
Hey, Luther. Do you he got 5 tackles now? Do you think that before halftime he'll have his 6th tackle of the year?
Listen, he was going. Listen, everybody was flying around the ball. Minka had 14. He was up there with 5. I mean, if Minka's getting all those tackles at 14,
Minka's a free safety. He was making Devin Bush's tackles. There's no way that he should have.
Burrow was making Bush's tackles. Burrow was passing the ball a lot more to make up for all those interceptions and turnovers. So they weren't running the ball because they shut down Joe Mixon. Come on, Jim. Give him the credit he deserves now. Go ahead, Claudia.
Well, I think the keys to the defense, or to the Steelers' defense, are going to be the cornerback and the safeties. Harris, I think they're going to have Harris try to run outside. The front is going to be the front. They're going to rush the pass, so they're going to do their thing. I think they're going to try to go outside, which means what? Cornerbacks and safeties are going to have to make a lot of tackles. But then they have to be careful that Mac Jones doesn't try to go deep and open things up a little bit. So it's going to be down to execution. It's as simple as that. And again, the offensive line, the most important positions, and the defensive line, but offensive line, most important positions on the field. Again, I think New England's going to try to go outside more because they know running up the middle isn't going to help, which means quarterbacks and safeties are going to try to make some tackles. But then I think Mac Jones is going to try to open it up by going deep. And I repeat, it's back to execution. It's almost like this, to break it down even simpler. Do you trust Bill Belichick? And I do agree, Luther. I don't think that he's the greatest coach of all time. Again, to me, when you turn programs around and you're consistent and you don't have the greatest of teams, that's when you know you have a great coach. Now, to Jim's point, they do have a no-name defense even to this day. But having said all that, do you trust a Belichick defense with a week to prepare after whatever mistakes they made last week, or a Matt Canada offense? I'm going to go with Belichick. I think that they're going to pretty much stop the Steeler. Wait, are we talking? No, my apologies. We're talking about Steeler defense. Okay, my apologies. I got a game today. My head's all over the place. Steeler defense is great. This offense is not great, but I think they're going to try, as I said, go outside, and if that doesn't work, they're going to try to open it up a little bit. I'm going to say that the New England offense isn't going to do too bad today. They're not going to score a lot of points, but it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be as bad as last week with Cincinnati.
Okay.
I apologize for messing up.
No, you got us. So, Smokin Jim, Steelers D versus the New England offense.
Well, I think that Mika Fitzpatrick's going to play well. Like I said this summer when he was getting on Southwest Airlines with me, I knew that he was looking for another contract as well. Listen, Hayward, got a convenient concussion late. That's your team captain going down. Listen, TJ Watt's the greatest player in Steeler history. That defense is going to be nothing without him. Devin Bush will return back to being the same Devin Bush we've seen since he's gotten here. Listen, it was a bad week for the captains. Najee Harris found a way to get hurt. Shouldn't have been a captain. Trubisky still looking to find Pickens, George Pickens. The only guy that can hit Pickens is Mason Rudolph. I keep telling you guys that. He's starting to develop a bad attitude. Listen, Mac Jones is going to throw the ball all over the field. New England Patriots. The Steelers, if the Steelers can beat New England, they can go on a 4-game winning streak because they got Cleveland and the Jets afterwards. So New England, I believe, has their back against the wall, and their offense is going to show. They can run the ball. The Steelers can't stop the run, and Mac Jones can throw the ball. You've seen him in Alabama.
All right, I hear what you're saying. Listen, I kind of disagree. I think Steelers D versus New England offense force Mac Jones to throw. I don't like his receivers. I think they're very average. I don't think they have anybody to take the top off. They have, Devontae Park, who they got in a trade with Miami. He doesn't fear me. Jacoby, I love the name Jacoby. Jacoby Myers is a solid wide receiver, but he doesn't put fear in me either. And Nelson Aguilar, he was horrible. He couldn't catch the ball at Philly. He can't catch the ball in New England. Those are average receivers. Mac Jones is an okay quarterback. Their offensive line is pretty good. The running game is going to be, the key. If they can stop the running game, they can easily stop the New England offense. We're talking about a Mac Jones who Bill Belichick was scared to let pass in a playoff game, and they ran it 30 times even though they couldn't. So I think we'll have success. We just have to stop the run. If Devin Bush, Miles Jack, the defensive line are running around making plays, I think we can. I give the advantage to Steelers D. Even without the great T.J. Watt, Malik Reed is taking his place. he has to be Malik Reed. I was impressed. He did some solid things. And Highsmith looks like he's turned the corner. I saw moves from him I didn't see before. He's doing spin moves. He's doing all the great moves, and he's doing them effectively and efficiently. If he can keep improving, this may actually help the Steelers D because everybody has to step up their game. So when TJ Watt does, the defense will be even that much more impressive. Let's jump into the phone lines. Frank Jackson, Smokin, stop hating on these players. All right. All right, thanks, Frank. Eric Witt, what's up, Eric? Let's go Steelers. No Brady. We got this. Okay. We know he's the biggest Patriot fan in the world. Who's going to step up today for the defense? Well, I think we just mentioned I got Minka, of course, stepping up. Miles Jack, I think, is going to be huge because New England's going to try to run the ball. And, of course, Hayward and Alualu, they got to shut it down. They got to keep the blockers off the linebackers and make the plays. Anybody else want to answer that question? Who's going to step up today for the defense? Claudio?
Okay, well, I'm going to say Highsmith. I'm still not sold on Devin Bush. Again, he did a good job last week. Let's see if he does it again this week. Highsmith, I think, is going to have a big-time season. So I say Highsmith.
All right, Smokin. Who you got?
I would definitely not play Bush. If you guys say Bush played well last week, I wouldn't play him this week because I would try to trade him for a warm six-pack. Get him out of here, man. Why his value is the highest? So yeah, that's what I would do with the defense is trade Bush after making 5 tackles and everybody's high on him right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Eric agrees. Highsmith. All right. Frank Jackson. Bush is better with Brian Flores. Okay. Last game, he looked a lot better. Let's hope he keeps showing improvement. All right, let's jump to the next one. Fellas, how about the Steelers O versus New England defense? Claudia, why don't you start us off? You gave us a little bit already.
Yeah, I leaked into that before. Again, it's as simple as do you trust a Canada run offense or a Belichick run defense, especially after last week? Who's going to make adjustments? I think Belichick will make the better adjustments from last week's game against Miami. And I think Canada's going to do the same thing, dink and dunk 5 yards. And so, Ben can't move. I told you. They're going to wish they had him back. Okay. Trubisky can run. When he played against the Patriots a few years ago when he was starting for Chicago, I think he had something like 80 yards rushing. Use his legs. You don't want him to be starting quarterback anyway. You want Pickett. So if he gets hurt, I don't want him to get hurt. I'm just saying, the fans, the coaching staff, let Pickett be Pickett. That's like telling Dan Marino, don't throw. Don't drop back and throw. Use his strengths. His strength is moving. Okay, he's got a strong enough arm, but they won't do it. He's going to go back, throw little dunks, and then hope that guys like Claypool and whoever else catches the ball for Freiermuth the yards after the catch. I don't like it. I think the defense of the Patriots is going to come up with a good game plan. Back to the offensive line, I'm going to repeat myself every time we have a show. And Najee Harris is a fantastic running back, but he's taking a beating back there. He's got no holes. He's got nothing. Trubisky, how much time does he have to throw? Maybe that's why they're doing the dink and dunks, which, again, you should have drafted better offensive line. I don't see them. I think the key to the game, though, without jumping around too much, is going to be the special teams. Okay? The punting is going to be very important for field position. Okay. So I don't think it's going to be strictly, the offense. If it is strictly offense against defense against Canada, Belichick, that's a no-brainer.
Smokin Jim.
Well, I've never in my life seen so many 3rd down and 2s and you throw it short of the sticks. I mean, it's so disappointing. Hey, listen, this offense is very frustrating for a great receiver named George Pickens. I told you early on that he reminds me of Randy Moss. He's the next Randy Moss. Runs the worst patterns in NFL history. He's a jump ball guy, a back shoulder throw. The guy just throw it up there, but he got to get downfield deep. Only one that can get the ball to him is Mason Rudolph. Right now, George Pickens is wishing that he was back at Georgia for two reasons. One, he would be a Heisman Trophy winner, and number two, he could finally get his basket weaving degree. Hey, listen, Claypool is showing that he is the second best receiver in the NFL behind Chase. This is a guy, there's so many weapons on this offense. And I believe that even as bad as the offensive line is, I think the problem is the offensive coordinator. You got to get rid of Canada. Can't blame Ben anymore.
True. And we got a couple. Canada needs to. Frank Jackson said Canada needs to move to Canada. He sucks. All right. Eric Witt. Second half of the game, fans will want Pickett. Tomlin won't do it. Mitch will have to figure it out what works for his game. Listen, man.
Hey, Luther, before you go, hey, Luther, should the Steelers fire Canada right now and promote the two defensive coordinators, the offensive coordinators like New England? That sounds good.
How's that working out for New England? Listen, I'm not impressed with Matt Canada. He definitely needs to pick it up. But here's one thing that could help. Mitch Trubisky is mobile. How about getting him on some designed runs, let him get loose, get 5 yards, just keep the sticks moving. That's what he was good at Chicago. He's not a classic drop-back passer. And with this offensive line, I don't know if you want him to be. But Mitch had receivers open last week. He missed Pickens on an 88-yard touchdown. Deontay Johnson had to jump and make one of the greatest catches I've ever seen on the last drive because the pass was so bad. One-handed it. Still got 2 feet in, just an incredible catch. But, he's going to have to step it up. I do give New England's defense more credit against the Steelers, though. I think they'll be able to hold us down because, the dink and dunk, it's all horizontal. The offensive line is not good. But like you said, I'm starting to come around that Matt Canada's not getting it done. I just don't see the creativity. I'm tired of all the jet sweeps with Chase Claypool. I did like the little flea flicker. That was a huge play. Too bad they only got a field goal out of it. But Flower, real deal. There's no linebackers that can stay with them. Great tight end out of Penn State. He even looks better blocking this year. But he gets open, and I'd like to see Pickens get a little more involved in the offense. I thought we could have used him a lot more. He was open, and teams aren't double teaming him yet. Chase Claypool, very overrated, Jim. He has all the talent in the world, but very overrated. As we get ready to wrap up, let's get these last comments and start our predictions. Oh, Ralph is in. Hey, what's up, Ralph? Great show, guys. Appreciate it. Eric Witt, third and short, better than third and long. Yeah, that's true. We still are getting third and twos. We throw a 1-yard pattern, and Deontay likes to run back 3 yards before. I would love to see Deontay Johnson watch some Marvin Harrison films. He would catch the ball and just dive. And that was it. These guys, you watch it now, they catch it, they run back trying to make the big play, and sometimes run themselves out of the first down. Just get the yardage. Every play isn't going to be 100 yards. But it's not just DJ. It's a league concept. These guys get it, run 3 yards back. But let's keep it moving as we wrap up. Fantasy, sit or start. We'll start off with Claudio. Claudio, sit or start? Start with pick. George Pick.
Sit. He's not going to get the ball.
All right. Najee Harris.
Sit.
Wow. Trubisky.
Sack.
All right. How about Mac Jones?
Sit.
All right. We'll go one more. How about Fires?
Sit.
Wow. How about Harris? Because he's going to have a game.
Play. Start it.
Play. All right. Smokin Jim, buddy. All right. How about Trubisky?
Well, I like to see Marvin Harrison and some Westerns like to shoot people in the pool hall. But, I would sit Trubisky.
Najee Harris.
I would take his captaincy off of him and give it to Freiermuth. Sit.
Jim, real quick, why does that bother you? He's in his second year. He's putting in work. He's a leader. Why does it bother you he's a captain? I'm confused. Why is it he can't be a captain?
Because he's
I
not.
don't understand.
Well, for 10 years, Andy Russell was the only captain on the Pittsburgh Steelers team. Then after that, it was Mean Joe Green. Then it was Mean Joe Green and Lambert. Now anybody that can walk around, they'll just put a captaincy on them. Trubisky's been here for 2 weeks and he's the team captain. Najee Harris wasn't even captain in college, probably wasn't captain of his high school. Now all of a sudden he's a leader. No, a captain needs to be a leader in that huddle, man. And the only leader I see in that huddle is Freiermuth.
Sounds like pure hate. All right, George Pickens.
Only one that can get him the ball. Only one that can get him the ball is Mason Rudolph, and he's not going to play today, so sitting.
Deontay Johnson.
Brittle brother, sitting. Sitting at UPMC.
You full of hate, Jim. Brittle.
He's brittle. He's brittle.
He's playing through a separated shoulder. Give him some credit, Jim. Yeah, Mac Jones.
Start Pro Bowler.
Pro. All right, Devontae Parker. You what?
Starting.
Okay. Jacoby Myers.
Starting.
Dang. Okay. How about Nelson Aguilar?
Starting.
Oh, you starting everybody. All right, so I know where this is going. All right, as we wrap up, let's get the final scores in. What's your final score, Claudia?
New England 73, Pittsburgh 42.
I got that worked out for last week.
That's it. I got New England 19, Pittsburgh 12.
Smokin Jim.
I think Bill Belichick will make Highsmith look like the Division III ball player that he is. I think New England Patriots will get back in the win column 21-3.
Jim, you're going to keep riding with these crazy scores, huh? Listen, I got the score, and I was right last week, 23-20, but I had the wrong team. I said Bengals, and it was the Steelers. I'm going to be right again this week. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I have it 17-14 Steelers in a nail-biter. Once again, let's get these last comments. Eric Witt, keep it simple. And Eric Witt says 37-28 Steelers. Wow. Okay. 37 points from this offense would be something. But I'm going 17-14 Steelers, and we'll be right back next week. In the meantime, check out scsportsworld.com. Check out the Boxing Authorities. Claudio Rosano, Smokin Jim is on just about every show on PCTV, Monday through Friday, so check him out as well. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Eric, Frank, Ralph, Herbie, and everybody else who tuned in but didn't, give us a call. So, listen, we appreciate all you guys. Check you out next week, and let's go Steelers. Peace.